It's 2024 and anybody can be an influencer. However, if you don't have these 4 brand principles inside of your profile, inside of your content, inside of your personal brand, it's going to be really hard for you to actually build an influential brand where other companies want to work with you. People just fall in love with your content. They always want to watch your stuff. And of course, you get paid a lot of money because you are worth so much value. Now, after growing thousands of followers on my social media, making multi-six figures in my 20s, I guess I can call myself an influencer, even though I associate myself more as like a brand and a business owner. But after studying so many other influencers, these are the top 4 things that you need to have and things that I wouldn't skip out on. Once again, if you want to become like a full-time influencer, you want to be somebody like Alex Earl and Charlie D'Amelio because they have this packed down when it comes to their brands. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Sabah, and this channel is all about helping you build the most unforgettable life by being your own boss and make your own money so you can actually live life, because that is what life is about. Now, the number one thing that I see influencers have when it comes to building such a high in demand community and brand that people literally fall in love with is having a mission. Now, if you don't have a mission of what you're about, what you stand for, why you even have a platform, people aren't going to pay you a lot of money to actually work with you, and people aren't going to follow you for a long-term basis. So if you think about, there are a lot of influencers in the industry of health, wellness, fitness, even like mental health, and they can be creating similar content, right? Teaching people how to, get rid of anxiety, how to get rid of depression. However, if everybody sounds the same and they don't have a greater mission beyond just like education, teaching people, therefore there really isn't any depth to their brand, and thus it doesn't really necessarily make it influential. However, if you are in the health and wellness industry, maybe your mission is helping specifically teenagers with their mental health and feeling really good about themselves and building confidence at the age that a lot of people usually go down the wrong road, right? That is a mission on its own. Is when people follow you and people see your content, other brands and companies that see your stuff, they're like, oh, she is all about mental health, but specifically young adults and teenagers. Like, that is really specific. And maybe you decide to choose that because when you were younger, in your teenage years, maybe even going into college, you really struggled with your self-esteem, how you looked, your confidence, right? Maybe you got so overwhelmed when it came to, working up in your career, like whatever it is, maybe you went through that. So now that is a core mission that you hold when it comes to your brand. So mission is so important. Do not skip this part. Don't just think you can create content all of a sudden and become an influencer out of the blue. Every influencer has a specific mission, has a specific reason beyond just the content they're creating, and that is why they have such a big platform. Now, number 2 is values, but not just values on its own, value association. Now, I came up with this terminology, value association, when I realized there are so many people who really value certain things that they purposely inject inside of their brand and they purposely show in their content to attract the right type of audience, the right type of brands, and the right type of companies to them that they actually want to work with. So let's say, for an example, you are a makeup, beauty, fashion influencer, right? And something that you really value is clean products that don't basically intoxicate the environment, right? You're all about environmentally friendly products. So if that's a value, you're associating yourself with products that are only environmental friendly, right? So every single time you're posting content, maybe you're tagging that company, that product, something that's more sustainable versus like maybe mainstream makeup. Like, that is such a big value association, because once again, you want to keep in mind, people that watch content creators, influencers on social media, the reason why they connect with them so much is because they value something that they also value. So if you can really show what you value in your content, people are going to start to associate you with that specific value. And once again, you just become more valuable as a whole, because it's not about how many followers you have. It's not about how much content you're putting out there. It's all about the quality of the followers, the quality of the platform, the quality of the community you're building. And I will tell you, like, people, brands and companies will pay you thousands of dollars per post, per collaboration, if you have a high quality community. People are engaging, they're liking, they're commenting, and this is a great way to really establish that connection with your followers, is having a value that you associate yourself with. Now, number 3, you have probably guessed it, but it's by far one of the most important ones when it comes to building an influential brand, is being consistent. Okay, you don't see personal brands and you don't see influencers post one day, go MIA, and then post again a few weeks later. They are posting consistently. They're posting twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day on their TikTok, on their Instagram, on their YouTube channels. So the reason why you want to be consistent is, number 1, when it comes to strategy with your social media accounts, the more you post, the more that platform is going to reward you. So if you have noticed, when you're posting on social media and all of a sudden you get exposed to more people, it is because that platform is basically noticing you're keeping people on that platform by creating more content. So from a strategic standpoint, you want to be creating consistent content, at least posting once a day, to tell the platform, hey, I'm consistent, I'm all about growing my account, so please reward me by pushing me out to more people. Now on the flip side, if you have a community who loves you, who loves your content, who loves to learn from you, wants to see what you're doing behind the scenes, and you don't provide them with the content, they're going to feel like you are leaving them out. They're going to feel abandoned. They're going to go to somebody else who is consistent, who is showing up for them, and who is always providing a lot of value and a lot of content. So if you are serious about being an influencer, you're serious about creating your own stream of income, you're serious about impacting millions and millions of people, you need to double down and you need to commit to yourself right now, this moment, that you are going to be consistent. Be consistent, because even if you're consistent, I want you guys to think about it. If you're consistent every day for 30 days, and then you continue on for 60 days, and then you continue on for 90 days, could you imagine the compound effect that happens? Because in the beginning, maybe you have a little slow growth, but over time, more and more people will start to follow you. They'll start to tell their friends, the algorithm will pick you up, and then all of a sudden, your content, your brand is just going to explode. Like every story that I've heard of an influencer just blow up, it came from them being consistent. If you guys know of Alex Earl, she blew up on TikTok, and she always tells the story of when she was in college, university, she really wanted to be an influencer. So every single day she did her get ready with me makeup routine. She would tell random stories, and she did that year after year until one random video took off, and of course that created that compound effect for her. But if she stopped on day 200 or day 20, do you think she would have the 7 million followers she has today? Probably not. So consistency is literally the name of the game. If you want to build an influential personal brand, you better be staying consistent. Now, last but certainly not least is main character energy. Influencers know they are the shit. They know that people love to follow them. They know that they have a life, they have values, they have stories, they have transformations that people are waiting to hear, right? So you can't be an influencer and have a personal brand on social media if you're hiding and you're not showing up as yourself, and you're standing in the shadow, not in the actual spotlight, right? It's like when you come across influencers and content and videos where you think to yourself, oh my gosh, they're like a natural at this. Like they're just so good at what they do. They're so good at sharing stories. They're so good at doing makeup simultaneously while talking. They're just so good at expressing themselves. The reason why they're so good at it is because they're confident and certain in what they're actually saying. And that basically stems from being in that main character energy, right? I want you to think about it. If you were on a movie set, right, and you were the main character and you had to show up as the main character, would you show up hiding, right? Would you show up like, your life sucks, or you're upset that you don't have millions of followers even though you haven't posted any content, right? Like, no, you would show up with your hair and makeup done. You would be creating the content. You would be taking time editing your videos, right? You would be staying consistent. Maybe you'd be collaborating with other influencers in the industry. Like you would be so proactive in your career because you know people are watching, because you're the main character, because everything works out for you, right? So influencers, they have this persona, they have this energy where they are meant to be a celebrity. They are meant to be in front of the camera. They are meant to be seen by millions of people, and that is why they pop off. Now, of course, there's different levels of influencers, and like, you know, you have like celebrity influencers, you have micro influencers, you have like niche industry influencers. But at the end of the day, every single type of influencer, they have that main character energy because they're showing up in their power. They're showing up as their true authentic self, right? So for you, if you're wondering, how do I show up in my main character energy? I want you to think about this scenario for a second. Every single time I do this scenario visualization in my head, I always step into my main character energy. Imagine if you were already that influencer. You already had millions of followers. You already had hundreds of people comment seconds within posting. You had your favorite brands and companies reach out to you saying, we want to collab with you. Imagine if you were already living in your dream desire of being an influencer. How would you be showing up? Be in that energy now, and I guarantee you, you will attract all that so much faster that you can ever even fathom, right? Because I know right now how you're probably showing up for yourself is not in correlation of how you would be showing up if you already had those things for you, right? So main character energy, it's not about waiting until you get those things and then acting or being in that state of like, oh my gosh, look at me because I am that main character. But being that now will magnetize and attract all of the people who need to be in your community, who need to be in your follower base. So main character energy is needed if you want to have an influential brand, right? So step outside of your comfort zone, step outside the box, don't hide in the shadows, and claim that you're gonna be the next influencer in your industry. Now, whether you're just starting out or maybe you're already somewhat of an influencer, but maybe you want to make more money with it, you wanna monetize beyond just working with brands, comment below and I will create a separate video on how to create your own product to sell it as an influencer. So if I get enough comments, I'll make sure to bring that up for you guys because you already know I always create videos based on what you guys want me to create, what you want to learn, and what you want to see. So that's all for today. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because we're on the journey of reaching 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube. So don't forget to hit subscribe and share this with somebody. If you know somebody, whether it's a friend, a family member, someone that you met on social media who wants to be an influencer, send this to them, okay? Because I guarantee you these 4 things are going to help them and or you get to the next level when it comes to your brand and with your influence. So until next time, I love you guys so much and make sure that you stay unforgettable.